What's up guys, welcome back to the Jaff Reviews channel. Thank you very much for tuning in once again. Before we kick off with the review, just letting you know this is an educational channel only. I do not sell any vaping products, and if you're under the ages of 18 or 21, depending which country you're from, please don't continue watching this content. And also, any e-liquids that you see within this video does not contain any nicotine. Now we've got that aside, what are we going to be checking out? We're going to be unboxing and reviewing the Steam Crave, this new Aromamizer Supreme V4 RDTA. Absolutely cracking little RDTA. Always been impressed with Steam Crave's products. Good quality, fantastic performance, and this thing is a little flavour banger. So let's go down, unbox it, check what's inside, and as always we'll share pros, cons, and give it a rating. This is the packaging that the Aromamizer Supreme V4 RDTA comes in by Steam Crave. Let's unbox it and check what's inside. You'll get your user manual, some Steam Crave cotton. This is your shoelace cotton, which we'll use for this video because we're going to do a mesh build. You'll get a couple of tri-core fused claptons. There's 0.3 resistance, and in there you've got your 2 coils. You get a couple of mesh coils, so we've got the 0.15 and the 0.2. And this is the adapter for the mesh posts here. So as you can see, stainless steel, you've got a peak insulator in there, and this is it, but we're going to change that over for this video. So as well as the standard glass that you get with the tank, you'll also get a spare straight glass and a bubble glass. Now the straight glass gives you equivalent of 7.5 ml, and then the bubble glass will give you 10 ml capacity. Now keep in mind, it is a 25mm atomizer. Now if you use the bubble glass, that will take from the glass section, it will take it out to 28mm. You also get a tool to disassemble the RDTA as well as use for your post screws. You also get your spare post screws as well as your squonk pin and your RDA pin. So you can turn this into an RDA and use that as a squonker, or you can just use it in RDA dripping atomizer mode only, as well as another big pin in there as your spare for when you've got it in RDTA mode. Just remember, with this peak insulator that's in here, use this when you're changing it over to RDA mode. Don't forget to put in your peak insulator. And you'll get your little tool which will help assist you building the mesh deck. So of course shapes it and everything for you and holds it in place while you're screwing it down. And you'll get the RDTA. Now this is a 25mm. I did mention if you use the bubble glass it takes out from here to 28mm, so keep that in mind. That's if you want to run it with the 10ml capacity. The whole thing is made of stainless steel. Now we all know that Steam Crave use really good materials and the quality of the products is on point. This can be used as a single or dual coil setup. It's your choice and what you want to do. It's available in gunmetal, matte black, matte gunmetal, and stainless steel. At the top you've got your 810 drip tip, which does come off like that. 810 drip tip in there. I do have a couple of coils set up because that's what I've been testing it out in, but we're going to do a mesh build and we're going to take it apart and I'm going to show you how we do it. So as you can see, there is 15 holes for each side of the atomizer. So for the airflow, 15 holes. There's a lot of airflow getting in this little thing, but you can close it off. So obviously I've got all 3 open. You can make it 2, you can make it 2 bottom ones, so you can really angle your airflow if you want it kind of more at the top there or more under, which is great. And I will say the ones that the bottom, this setting here, very much nicely done with this one. I like it a lot with the airflow getting under that coil. But yeah, on that side you can have the airflow coming from the center as well, which is great. And then you can really tweak down this airflow as well. So have 5 in the center and 4 in the top there. You really to tune this in, which is wicked. You're going to have 4 from the top, 5 at the bottom, 5 in the middle, 4 from the top, from the bottom, and then you can have all 5 there if you really want to. It's wicked. It really is, with toning down that airflow. Now let's take the top cap off. As you can see, you've got your 2 points there. This gets clipped down into the base where the e-liquid is. So when you're filling up the e-liquid, these are the 2 fill ports there, and that's the stoppers for them right there. There we go. That's the airflow system, and it's very nicely done. It really, really is. Now that does come out, and that's what it looks like on the inside. It's got all those airflow holes, a nice O-ring, thick O-ring at the top there, and that is it. So we'll set that aside. Top cap, that's what it looks like on the inside. There we go. And then we've got the deck. As you can see, I've got a couple of coils in there. They are 3mm ID in here. And then we're going to take this off. But before we do that, have a look at the bottom. It says empowered by Hajoy 510 connection point. You can use this in a mechanical mode because the 510 is protruding out. So unscrew. It is just anti-clockwise. Unscrew it. That comes out. So we're going to take this completely apart because we're going to be using the mesh build. You can use this in single or dual coil setup. You've got your two large ports where the cotton's going to sit. You can either feed it down or just sit it, because as you tilt it, it will juice up that cotton. So you don't necessarily need to put the cotton down. You really don't. Now with this little thing, it does come apart. Of course, you need to move the stainless steel rod in the center, but before you do that, we need to unscrew the 510 pin at the bottom there. So let's unscrew this, take that out. The deck will come apart, but that comes out. 510 pin, unscrew this, that comes out, and that's the rod there. It's got an O-ring on the inside there, and then your peak insert is here, as you can see. Get your mesh deck in there, and now we're just going to put this rod on. Of course, if you want the RDTA mode, you're basically going to just put this plate back on like that and use the shorter pin, whether you're going to use the squonk or dripping one, which will just be complete 510 closed off pin that's in there, and then that's it. And then you can use your RDTA, your top cap, stick that on, and you're good to go. But we're not going to do that because we're going to do a mesh build and we want it in RDTA mode. So screw this on. Don't forget you've got an O-ring that's at the bottom there, and now we're just going to get this 510 pin back in. Screw this in there. Just like that. That will screw on the top deck as well. Give it a good tighten. Get the glass that you're going to be using. We're going to keep with the straight glass because it looks better. But pop that on, give that a screw down, and a good old tighten, and you're good to go. No issues there, no problems. So let's get this all built up and using the mesh coils that are provided. Screw this down. So unscrew the posts. It's just a little star screw. Unscrews like that. Now I'm not a professional when it comes to mesh builds, but I've got a slight idea on how mesh builds are. I've unscrewed the posts, and I'm just going to shape it around this just to give it some shape. Once you're happy, then we can get it installed. So I've just shaped it a little. Just pop one side of the post down. So it might get a bit blurry, I do apologise, but I'll try my best to keep it in focus. We're just going to pop the other side in and screw this down. That's it screwed down, and now you just need to pop this in just to give it some shape and let that do its thing. So I think I'm happy with that. That should do the trick. That should do. Not bad, not bad. For being a newbie with mesh, I'm not too bad. Now we need to pulse at 20 watts, but we're going to take this down to less than 20 watts. We're going to put this about 10 watts just to introduce the heat. The lower the better. And then you're just going to pulse. You're not going to hold it in. So accept that, yes. Just keep doing that until it starts to glow. And now we're just going to crank this up a little. Get this up to 12 watts. Starting to glow. Get this up to 14 watts. There we go. And I think we're good. I'm not going to pulse this anymore. I don't want this to snap or anything, or any issues be caused by it. But it looks good. That looks good to me. I'm happy with that. It's firing away. So now we're going to get it wicked up. We're going to do some cheating. We're going to pop that under there and see if that's going to be good enough for what we want it to do. Feed it through, nice and tight. Now that's in there, fed that through, it's nice and snug, and you can give that a little twist as well if you want to, but yeah, that's your choice on what you want to do. Now we're just going to snip this off. Obviously I can feed this through and just make sure we're not wasting too much, because we can reuse this cotton. There we go. Lovely. Nice and plumpy. Now we're just going to snip this off with our scissors. And now I'm going to just snip this side as well, because it's too much. We just want it sitting on top of there. So you can take it from the out part of the deck and just come out a little, snip off, and that's all going to sit in there, no problem. Do the same on this side. There we go. And now what we want to do is we just want to slowly just do the thing, fluff it all out. And now we're going to see how it sits there. I can see the cotton just at the bottom there, and then on this side as well. And that should do the trick. Now all we need to do now is fill this up. So what I'm going to do is fill it up with some lovely juice. I'm going to use some of Deep Cut Strawberry Swing. Pop that in there. As you can see, it's filling up. It's just going to take some time. 7.2 ml of e-liquid capacity. There we go. And now I'm just going to fire this up. But we want to make sure that juice gets in there. Juice up all your cotton. Don't worry, we're going to tidy this up. Lovely. Now get your little cotton tool and let's tidy this up. Lots of juice in there, so we shouldn't have an issue. And it's looking good from my side. Get your top cap, just match up these two parts with the two parts where you fill your fill ports there. So stick that on, a drip tip goes on, and are we firing away? Are we good to go? It's firing away beautifully. Beautifully does it. Loving the look of this. So that is it. Let's get it off the build tab. And there we go. We have built the Aromamizer Supreme V4 by Crave, the 25mm. Stick it onto the Scent Light by Vapor's Cloud. Pop this on. And it looks pretty good on the Scent Light. Nice setup. I like this. It looks very, very nice. So let's go up, vape on it, share pros, cons, and give it a rating. So we've now unboxed the Aromamizer Supreme V4 by Crave. Let's give this a vape and see how we get on with it. So I've got this all fully open airflow, as you can see, and it is the mesh build in here, as you saw that we put the build in. I have tested this out in dual coil, but let's get on with the mesh build and see how we get on. So here we go, 50 watts. That airflow is intense, really, really smooth, but there's a lot of airflow coming through there. And this thing needs more power. So I'm going to crank this up to about 70 watts. I think we just need that extra power in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut off the airflow to two cutouts there, which I will show you. There we go. Let's give this a rip. Now we're going to test it with the open airflow, just one insert, one cutout on this. So here we go, still 70 watts. That is really restrictive, really restrictive. I'm going to tone that down to 60 watts now. 60 watts, there you go. And then I've still got that single open airflow there. So here we go. Yeah, that's really restrictive. That would be good, I think, with a higher resistance, definitely. But I'm going to keep this with the two cutouts open. I think that's just right. That just gives me the right flavour. Yeah, definitely. Two cutouts open, and very much like that a lot because you've got that restrictiveness in there. Yeah, with the two cutouts at 60 watts, I like this. I like this a lot. Flavour's lovely. Beautiful flavour. So pros and cons. What cons do I have to say about the Aromamizer Supreme V4? In all honesty, there's no cons with this thing. I really can't fault it. It's got everything that you need, everything you want, and the compatibility with the different decks and everything. It's just always fantastic with Steam Crave products. They give you everything you need to set up and start off your vaping journey and do what you want to do with it. It's absolutely cracking. So I'm sorry, there are no cons with this because this thing performs very, very well. Pros for me, love the fact you get all these accessories. You get the decks, the mesh deck, and then the dual coil setup. Pros for this with the dual coil setup and the mesh, both of them work very, very well and do what they should be doing. I do like the coil setup, the dual coil setup, as well as the mesh. There's no favourite there, I'll be honest. I think the mesh just gives a lot more flavour with this, with that mesh build, but it does because there's a lot of cotton in there and it's just absolutely cracking. It's constantly saturated, it's doing what it should be doing. I'm very impressed with it. Now, build quality, absolutely fantastically done. Love everything they do about it with the fill ports, just with the rotation of the airflow. It's nice and smooth. Threading in this, absolutely on point. Now, if you're a hobbyist and you've used Steam Crave products, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's good quality, as expected from Steam Crave. So yeah, what else to say about this in terms of the pros? It's very easy to build. Now, the cutouts, the wells for the cotton to sit, absolutely fantastic. Enough room there, you can just sit the cotton on top and it does its thing. Don't need to bring the cotton down. I was doing that for a while because I'm not a professional when it comes to mesh builds. It's something that I'm still getting used to, but I'm getting better over time, and I think with the mesh builds, they're absolutely cracking. I very much enjoy them. Flavour is crazy. Really enjoy it very much so. But all in all, I think the mesh build just shines with this. It really, really does. But the whole build quality and everything is on point. The airflow's smooth. You can completely open this up. And when I say open the airflow up, it is pure direct lung, like really loose direct lung. Then you get it to that 2 point, the two cutouts where you tone the airflow down. That's more of a loose RDL. Then you get to that one insert, and that's a really, really tight, I would say, RDL. So very well done with that. You've got different options there to accommodate for whatever style you like, your vaping style. So absolutely on point with that. I love the design of it. Always enjoyed Steam Crave's products and the way they look, but they've done a very good job with this. Really good job. So absolutely cracking. Spot on with this RDTA. I like how easy it is to build with this though, I will say it. I'm very pleased with how easy it is to build. It is so easy to the point where you just snip it and literally just pack that cotton in where the wells are, and it does its thing. And it's so easy to do. It's not overcomplicated. If you've never tried mesh, I would highly recommend you give it a go. Honestly, give it a go and see how you get on, because the flavour just really shines. Now, desserts with this, desserts are gorgeous. Custards and creams and cereal are fantastic with this. Fruits, of course, absolutely brilliant, but I think it shines with the desserts. The creamy notes this provides is just insane. Like, seriously. I have got to say, it's got to be one of the RDTAs Aromamizer that I'd put at the top of my list in terms of flavour profile for desserts. It gives the best output for dessert-based e-liquids. So absolute winner there. And it looks very smart with that 25mm, so you can fit that on side by side, you can fit it on different mods. It doesn't need to go on a big massive mod as well. You can run this off a single battery easy, no issue, but absolute on point. And that large capacity with the tank section as well, there's a hell of a lot of e-liquid you can get in there. So very pleased with that, and I can't fault this. I really can't say anything negative about it because there's nothing to complain about. It does what it should be doing and it performs very well. If RDTAs are your thing, this is something you may want to check out because it is top notch. But yeah, I think that's it with this review. I've got nothing else to say about the Aromamizer V4 apart from it's like an absolute cracking RDTA, and I think you should get into this if you've not tried mesh builds. And also, you've got the dual coil deck as well if you don't like mesh, so you can switch it up and you're all sorted. But big shout out to Steam Crave for sending this for the purpose of this review. Thank you very much for the support. And also, you guys watching, if you've got any comments, leave it in the if you've got any comments. I mean, if you've got any questions, leave it in the comments section. And also, thank you so much for your support. Please hit the like button; it keeps me in the algorithm. And until next time, I'll see you again. All the best.